And we are live. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How the devil art thou,
Good
everyone?
evening.
Welcome to another episode of Is It Just Us?
Is it?
I still think there's time to that Schrodinger thing, you know? I really do.
Yeah. It is and it isn't.
Both at the same time. And we will never know. Anyway,
Never.
I'm your host, Lucifer Storm, and joining me as always is my main man, Russ, Comicbook, Blackbelt, Leach. How the devil art thou, Russ?
Yes, doing fine, thank you. Yeah, you know, in these tumultuous times, I've just stuck my head down and drawn like a nutter.
Oh, you can't knock that. At the end of the day, I'm sure you're not alone. That's one instance where you say, "Is it just us?" And I get to go, "No, it's not."
No.
There are some sane people out there. I assure you. I'm still looking for them, but they are out there. Anyway, should we get on with the old musical interlude?
Oh, do it.
Oh, good. Because once again, I have ye oldie banjo, and right. Rest in peace, Joe.
Sinnott.
I want to say Sinnott. That's it, Joe Sinnott.
Joe Sinnott.
Rest in peace, Joe Sinnott. And thank you for everything you have done in the comic book industry. You marvelous, marvelous man.
Not worthy. It's as simple as that. Yeah, the guy was a genius.
Absolutely. He's one of those people, like, you may not be familiar with his name in the same way as you are like Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, but guaranteed you have seen his work without even realizing it. What a fucking legend. And to live till 93, good on him.
And he was a good bloke as well. He was a good bloke. He was a very nice guy.
I've never met him, so I can't.
No, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you from the tales that I have heard that he was a genuinely good sort.
Yeah, I have not heard one bad word uttered about him. It's a shame to lose another one, and like so close to Denny O'Neil passing away as well. It's a shame. It's a shame, but the show must go on.
It must.
So, Russ, what have you been up to since we last got together and grumbled away like the two old bastards we are?
Yeah, I spent most of my Sunday updating the Only Death Can Save Us website.
Cool.
It's now got a pre-campaign preview page on Indiegogo. So hopefully people will sign up and declare their interest. That's on Indiegogo. Obviously, I've got my email subscription list as well. That's growing slowly. I did a new trailer for that specifically, and I've been drawing pages basically. So but that took up a long time. You get there and you look at it, and there's all these things you've got to do, and you got to bring all the assets together and you know, put them in one place. And then I started looking at the campaign, which is still a little bit too early at the moment. But I just thought, oh my God, there's so much to do. But there you go.
No rest for the wicked. No rest for the wicked whatsoever. No. So it sounds like you've been keeping busy.
Yeah. It's like I say, it's just drawing some more.
Yeah.
So I'll show you some. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing.
Oh, lovely.
Tonight. Show you what I'm doing. Share screen.
Well, whilst you're doing that, let's just say hello to Salazar Art Nation. How the devil art thou, good sir? And of course, as always, our one-man comedy routine, Stinch Whackbacker, has returned.
Good evening.
How the devil art thou, Stinch? In fact, let me just read what these guys are saying. We got Howdy Lucifer and Russ. Hey, Stinch, I know you're here somewhere. It's like Stinch has become like part of the show without realizing.
He's the third man. He's the third man.
Yeah, he's the fifth Beatle. Let me see what else. Pour one for the old guard. Absolutely, Stinch. Absolutely. And we've also got Skull Diamond 94. Welcome, Skull Diamond.
Hello,
How
Skull
the devil art thou? Hopefully you are keeping well. Right, let's see what you got going on down here and add this to the screen. Oh, hello. Hello.
That's a double page spread from the center of the book. And then today I did this one as well.
Oh, nice.
And
Yeah,
so,
I
like,
saw you on Peter Palmiotti's stream working on this
yeah,
page.
yeah, I was doing a little bit on there. I had to take a break so that I could do all the work on the website stuff and what have you. But yeah, I was getting on with that there. So it's starting to come together.
Nice.
But you know, like all these things, all the best things take time. So hopefully it will be good in the end. But yeah, quite pleased with it.
I'm sure it will be good, mate. I'm sure it will be good. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm not just saying that. Like, that 9-page preview, like, really hooked me in. I was like, no, don't stop here. Give us the rest now.
I have updated the preview, actually.
Oh, have you?
So, yeah. So because it's got the new cover in it, but it's also got the changes to the imps in there as well. So if anybody wants to download the other one, they can. Obviously, if they want to keep the original, I suppose it's something a little bit different to have.
Yeah,
So I'll show a little bit of that in the book. So
cool.
yeah. So yeah, yes, it's coming on. It's doing its thing.
Awesome.
I just had Rowie Salazar. Hi Frank. Asked if I'd got to 500 subscribers, and I have.
You have?
I've done it. Yes, I've done it.
Fantastic.
I've reached 500. In fact, I'm at 505 at the moment. But you know what it's like. Some drop off, some come back. But 505. I'm in quarantine at the moment because my wife's off for an operation next week.
Right.
So I've not been able to post anything out. So if anybody else is watching this and they go and subscribe to my channel, they will be in the random set of subscribers as well as the first 500. So basically anybody up until next week, the middle of next week, when I can go to the post office, I'll pick out a name, and then what I'll do is I'll try and contact them either via maybe next Monday night on this show. I could maybe bring out the name of the subscriber,
fantastic.
and then get them to contact me, and I'll post it to them anywhere in the world.
Fantastic. And whilst I'm here, let's just say a quick hello to Cyberlita How the devil art thou? Hopefully you're keeping well. And of course, my main man, Mario, aka Marv Artwork, is here joining us as well. Fantastic. I see there's lots of things going on. I love the fact that people are like, oh, what have you seen?
No,
I know that giggle. I know that giggle.
I might just send something to Frank anyway. Do you know what I mean? Just like whether he wins or not. I might get your address, Frank, and send you something. Because if you don't ask, if you don't badger someone, you don't get it, do you? And he's been doing a really good job of it. So I think I might send him something.
That's true. I love how like everyone's kind of like, oh, I've hit 100 subscribers. Rock on. 500. Rock on. 1,000. To me, I was excited when I was like, I've got 666 subscribers. Come on!
Yes, the number of the beast.
That's the one I screen captured so I could go, it happened. It actually fucking happened. Not that I'm not grateful for the rest, obviously.
I say this on my videos all the time, and I must bore people with it, but I really do mean it. The idea that people would subscribe to my channel and listen to me babble on about art and the stuff that I put up there, because obviously I do the occasional tutorial, but most of it is just me drawing and the stuff that I've done. That people take a real interest. It's such an honor to have people do that and to take an interest in your work. The idea is that, I mean, obviously they're not 500 of those subscribers. They're not always watching, and they're not all necessarily fans. They're just taking a passing interest. But it's that old thing: is you've got 1,000 fans, isn't it? If you have 1,000 true fans,
yes,
that's the idea, that you can get to that kind of amount, and that will actually see you through. Especially if you're not looking to be a millionaire or anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just people that appreciate your work, and if you can appreciate them back by giving that little bit of extra. So it's fantastic to have people do it.
Like it's awesome when I go to check my emails in the morning and I see that someone's messaged me and they're like, "Thank you so much for your videos. It's helped me out so much with the story for my comic and stuff." And it's like, yes, I am so fucking pleased for those people, because
Yeah.
it's good to know that people like, they're not just jumping into it for the sake of it and going, oh, I hear comics are popular. There are
No.
people out there who are like, I want to do this the best that I can. I believe in my story that much that I want to learn all the knowledge I can in order to make this the best presentation of my story. And knowing that I've been able to help some of those people, wow, that's just fucking awesome. Like, it really brings a smile to my face.
Yeah, it
it's
does.
fucking great, man.
Although I still see those questions I was talking about last week. I saw some more this week. I saw this crazy one. It was like, how do I get my nephew interested in drawing comics? It's like, you don't.
No,
They have to do it for themselves. They get them.
Yeah.
You either want to do it or you don't want to do it. You can't get someone interested in doing it.
No,
God.
absolutely. That's like asking, how do I get my son interested in algebra? Well, guess what? If they don't like it at school, they're not going to like it outside of school, are they? Fuck's sake.
How do I get my son interested in porn?
Don't think you're going to have problems with that one.
No.
Oh dear, that, you know, have you ever had from your work? Have you ever had like any messages that are like, "You're a fucking scumbag"? Blah, blah, blah.
I've never had any hate. No, I've never had any hate. No, I've never had hate.
It
Maybe
must
I'm
just be the
a nice
people
guy.
I attract.
I was thinking maybe it's just because I'm a nice guy, and then I was thinking, no, maybe it's because I'm bald and I look like a thug.
maybe, or maybe it's the content you do and how you present it. I mean,
Maybe,
I have no qualms about the work that I do and how I present it, and I always say to people, look, you know, this is not for children, this is for adults. The amount of times I've been at conventions and a parent has got like a 5-year-old kid or whatever, and they're like, I want to buy this book for them, and I'm like, no, you fucking don't. Let me show you why. Take a look at that. It's fucking disgusting. You know, there's words in here that your child should not learn until they're 8 years old on the playground. You know. So I think that's why, like, I get some every now and then. I actually got before Christmas, I actually got a death threat over Lady Satan, and I was just like, why? Like, what's the fucking point of this?
And are you really going to see it through? I doubt it. I just like really?
I'm going to see the book through to the end. Like, this is one thing people do.
I mean the death threat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, really? Yeah. I'm going to see the book through to the end. They're not going to see the death threat through.
No.
That's just fucking ridiculous. Although when I was in my band, I did actually get physically assaulted by a member of the audience because they didn't like one song that I played.
Jesus Christ, people are crazy, aren't they?
I know, right? What was weird is they were like, "Come here, I want to have a word with you," and they're like, "That song, you can't play it anymore." And I was like, "Fuck you." Yes, I fucking
as
can.
you do.
Right? They carried on babbling away, so I just very gently put my hand on their chest, pushed them back, and just said, "Fuck off." I started walking away, and I saw someone that I knew. And was like, "Oh, hey!" And then bang, straight punch in the back of the head.
Cowards.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. But guess what? It didn't make me stop playing the song. No. Just like a death threat doesn't make me stop writing or drawing the book. No. Like, people need to learn this. If you do that, I'm just going to do it more.
Yeah. Fuck you.
So, you know, think if you don't want me to do the book, leave me the fuck alone. Don't buy the book.
Don't buy the book. Don't buy the book. Don't buy the book. But conversely, when it does come out, everyone, if you're watching this, do buy the book.
Yeah, buy the book. Buy the book. I won't mind. I won't stop you. Especially as I've been like working on Lady Satan a lot more, like still so fucking close to getting like all the scripting done and being able to get back onto drawing it, and I'm really excited with the direction that it's gone in. I know everything right from beginning to the bitter fucking end. I actually got to sit down with a friend of mine earlier, and he was asking how the book went, and I went, "Do you mind if I spoil it to you? And I'll tell you what happens in the book." And I walked in like through it, and there were so many points where he's like, "Oh, you're gonna do that?" Yes, I am gonna do that. Oh, that's fucking epic. And then when I got to the end, he was like, "Oh shit, I didn't see that coming, but that makes sense." And I was like, "Cool, Cool. I think I'm doing okay here. He's my test audience of 1.
I know. See, if I was explaining someone through my book, it'd be and then he hit him, and then he hit them, and then they hit them, and then they did a really big explosion, and then they hit them again.
See, what I normally do is I go, oh, like this happens, therefore this happens, but then this happens. And in order for you to fully understand the gravitas of that, let's go back to this bit in the story.
I have a kind of an understanding about where the books are going.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of leaving it a little bit freeform. So the first book has a specific thing to do.
Yeah.
And the specific thing to do is to set the scene for the other books. It is a story in itself, so you could just pick it up and never pick them up again, or you could pick them up and go, "Oh no, I want to see more of this." So it's not like a cliffhanger. It is, but it isn't. But I'm going to leave it freeform. Like I was saying, I might invite other writers to write the next parts. I'm not 100% sure because I've been thinking about doing that. But I'm a little bit more freeform.
Sometimes it's hard to go, here's my baby, please don't drop them.
Yeah, I mean, beforehand, because I wasn't that confident about my own writing, I'm still not super confident about it. We'll see how it goes, see if people like it. But I was kind of like, oh, I'll do this first one and then I'll get other people involved. And then I wrote the whole thing and I finished it off and found myself getting story ideas for the next part.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking, oh, maybe I want to control that. Maybe I don't want to give that to another writer. I don't know. Or maybe that's just an overarching discussion I have with another writer and I kind of give them that and let them go. But we'll have to see.
It's quite common for that to happen when you're writing a story. The amount of times I've sat down to write a story that is meant to be one-off, one-shot, self-contained, beginning to end. It doesn't go anywhere beyond that. And then you start working on the first part of the story and you're like, oh, I would be a fucking idiot if I didn't do this bit after this story. So here's part 2. I used to sit down and plan a story as like, if I wanted it to be 1 book, I would plan 2 or 3 books. So that I always had the option, and so that the first book flows better. I find that way. If you have that open-ended bit and you've got stuff set up in the first book, just in case you want to do a second or third. So it's good that that's happening, mate.
I have an arc in the book, or I have an arc that I want to go on, but that arc could be 3 books or it could be 20. I set the characters up to have the ability, whether this actually happens or not, I don't know, but to have the ability to go on a journey through other people's books.
Cool. Because
they're intrinsically able to go anywhere by the end of the book. That's as much as I can say. And I've already spoken to Unstoppable, to JD, and said I'd really like a couple of his characters maybe in the next book. And he said, yeah, that would be really good. That'd be really great to cross them over. So I'd really like to go on a journey through other indie books.
That would be fucking cool.
Just like weave my way through these other indie books and see what happens. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, you never know, man. That could be really cool. I mean, like, personally, I don't want to do like a shared universe thing with all my characters. To me, each character is in their own universe, but I have, with one of the characters, figured out a little trick so that if later on down the line I'm like, actually, I would like all of them to meet up, I know what I can do as an inciting incident to begin a story and how to bring them from all their different universes, put them in one, and it not be jarring or anything like that.
That's effectively what I'd be doing. So they wouldn't all be living in the same universe. There'd just be ways of accessing these other ones.
Exactly.
So,
exactly. Awesome, man. Well, I guess we should really get to your favorite part of the show.
Oh, you're going to ask me what's grinded my gears this week, aren't you?
Absolutely.
You're going to ask me. Do you know what grinds my gears? Do you know what grinds my gears?
No, that's what I'm fucking asking.
And you know the answer to this because it's the answer I give every week. Fucking everything.
Oh. It never gets old. That is always still funny.
Fucking absolutely everything grinds my gears. There are so many knobs out there. It's hard to count them all in one in one paragraph. Good Lord.
Dude, even if I use my fingers and then take my socks off, I still can't count all of them.
Count all the knobs. You can't count all the knobs. Do you know what? Do you know what really grinds my gears? And we mentioned this at the start of the show, is that Joe Sinner has gone, and that there wasn't more. And this is something else we were talking about off camera, about the way that people are rewarded for what they do and what they give to society and what they give to culture. And through accident of birth, and this just that phrase, through accident of birth, can go right across all the things that are going on across the world at the moment. But specifically things like, you know, being a creator, and being a creator or an actor or a director, or stay with me, bear with me on this, I'm getting to it.
Okay.
But, you know, any of these creative processes, they're not the most important thing in the world. Okay, saving lives, being kind, you know, like feeding people, those are really, really important things. Okay, like estate agents, no. Photocopy salespeople, no. Okay, those kind of things, they're not as important. But I think somewhere in between the two is the creative field, because it's we give to people, we give entertainment, but not just entertainment. We get to polarize the ideas and the concepts that are what life is all about, and we see a lot of that in comics. And Joe Sinnott was a big part of my past, as far as how the kind of artwork that I love. And at the time, for a long time, I didn't even know it was Joe Sinnott that I loved. I thought it was John Buscema. I thought it was Jack Kirby. I thought it was Spider-Man Remitter. I thought it was all these people. Okay, and I do love them. I do. I mean, John Buscema is my top artist of all time. There's no doubt about it. But the inks that Sinnott produced over everybody's art that he graced was just amazing. It was pure. When you go and look at the details, you can see that it isn't like the smoothest line in the world. But when you look at it in its grandeur, just across the pages, the arc of pages, if you would see it in a story, it just looks so. It is so pure. To me, it's pure comic book. It's fantastic, and it's pure Marvel. Somebody said this earlier on today when they were talking about Joe Sinnott, is that he was Marvel for a while. The way that he made everybody's art look. And it had this uniformity to it because he was such a master artist. Apparently, he was a lovely fella as well. Got all the way to 93. And what grinds my gears is that people like him don't really get the recognition in general, in the general population that they should get, because they're just creative geniuses. So that's what grinded my gears, really. It's a short one, but it's a heartfelt one, and I think we need to bolster up people that don't just feed the consumer addiction or the mechanical world that we live in, but also to our souls and our hearts. With stories, but not to the point where you make them celebrity. I can't stand celebrity culture. I find it a hideous thing. It's a real abuse and misconstrued. It's a twisting of the art of the creator to tell a story and to gently be part of somebody else's life by telling that story. And celebrity culture and the thing that goes on with it and all the way that they behave is I find it despicable. But it's still. Rolling it back from there. Creators, people that tell stories are so important to us all, and somebody like Joe deserved more. He deserved more recognition. So,
like I said earlier on, you may not know his name, but you have seen his work. And that should be enough for people to go, you know what, we should give this guy a lot more fucking credit and a lot more recognition. You said like a few steps back, should we say, that like, yes, the most important thing is saving lives. But this is one thing that I bring up every now and then. art does save lives sometimes. There are plenty of people out there who, you know, they've been feeling down on their luck. They're in extraordinary pain. They want a way out because they've tried to find something to make them feel better and they can't quite find it. And then at the 11th hour, they see that movie, they hear that song, they read that comic book that changes everything for them and literally saves their lives. So yes, what we do, you know, we're not exactly surgeons, and they, you know, they deserve like a lot more fucking praise or credit than we do.
I don't know. I've got a scalpel here.
Oh, what, next to the vodka?
Oh yeah, I've got a scalpel.
Like what? I like the way that you put things together in your house. This is very interesting. How's the dungeon, by the way?
There you go. Just to prove that I'm a real artist, I have scalpel.
There you go. You have a scalpel. And before we carry on, can I just say hail to Captain Fuckhead?
Hail, Captain Fuckhead.
Welcome, good sir. Because of his video, guys, if you haven't subscribed to him, please do so. Because of his videos, I have ended up backing 3 fucking books. My credit card really does hate me. And I'm okay with this because I've got a fuck ton of books coming my way, which is always fantastic.
Yeah.
So I guess we better move things on a little bit. And yes. What have you read for this week's wonderful episode?
Right. Well, you know the way it works. I don't read anything.
You just look at the pretty pictures and go, "Oh, shiny,
okay.
shiny."
So I'm very visually centric. Funnily enough, Joe is in here.
Oh,
and this is a trade paperback collection of Nick Fury, original Nick Fury, proper Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, and it's all Steranko, Jim Steranko, who is another fucking legend. And actually, personally, he's a legend as well. The guy is fucking brilliant.
Oh, you've actually met him?
He doesn't take any shit from anyone.
I have heard some amazing stories about him.
Yeah, I love Jim Steranko. He's one of the old guard. This takes you right from the start. This book even has like the original pilot at the back that they came up with, which has hideous artwork in it. And what I really like about what he's doing, look at this. Look at that. That's Jim Strait. It's only the pencils, and you can see it. Oh, it's difficult.
It is difficult.
That's difficult. It's work. You got to buy this book. It's got like pencils, Jim Steranko pencils in the back, and here, you've got a number of artists. You've got Adkins. You've got Garcia doing inks. But this is quite obviously the man Sinnott.
Yeah.
And it's superb stuff. I wonder actually if there's a little bit. There you go. No. It's just perhaps it's my eyes. Anyway, what's great about this particular trade paperback is you can see Steranko's growth from the first one he did right the way through to the end of his run, and it's classic 70s stuff. And then something else he started to do, which is what Jack Kirby did as well, was start putting photography in. So pages like this, where he's used photocopies and prints and what have you. I mean, this is super psychedelic stuff. There you go. Look, he's got a photograph of the girl in the screen there. And he's used the black and white off that, and it's just stunning stuff. He's got some Kirby crackle in here. He's got Sinnott strike lines. It's got this, and this particular spread was something from my childhood because I first saw this spread. It's like an attack, the whole bunch of it's like a sort of a James Bond-esque attack, where they turned up, and I think it's AIM or something they're up against, and that particular run was reprinted in Captain Britain when I was a kid, 1976, 1987, which is where I fell in love when I didn't realise, which is where I fell in love with Sinnott Sinks, with John Buscema's work, and with Steranko's work. And I mean, that run of the Fantastic Four, where it started off with Jack Kirby and then went into John Buscema, was just the most fantastic run. So it's a stupendous, pure comic book genius, mastery. But this is also that as well. I mean, you can look at some of the things and go, "Oh, this the anatomy there is a bit janky," and
some of the that with most books.
Some of the bits and pieces are a bit odd, but as a whole, it comes off so damn slick, and it's beautiful. And it's actually, I have read all of this as well, and it's great fun. It's rubbish, but it's great. It's what comics used to be.
Exactly.
Fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Good, solid fun. That doesn't mean that the writing wasn't good. It doesn't mean that the stories weren't intricate, but they were just pulpy. They were just great fun. And we've lost. Not we. I think the comics industry in general has lost that. Which is another reason why it's difficult to get kids involved, because what they do is they split it up into young adult and kids, and then what they do is they talk down to people instead of talking to everybody. These books were for everyone. Lots of people wouldn't admit that they read comics, because comics were for kids, but actually lots of people read comics, and they were on the shop. They were on the shop shelves, and you could go into, Martin's the newsagent. Any of our American viewers won't know what that is, but it's basically a 7-Eleven or something like that. And I'm sure this is where a lot of people got their 7-Eleven and what have you. And you'd go in there, and there were books in there, and you just go and pick up a comic, and that's why you could sell to kids. And now all that's gone. Don't get me wrong, I love comic book shops. I love comic book shops.
Absolutely.
But you need to have them out in the wider world. Otherwise, who's going to be the next generation growing up reading comics?
Absolutely.
They need to get that sorted. If the mainstream does anything, no matter what tat they might be writing, if they do anything, if they can just solve that, then we've saved it. If they don't solve that, then I don't believe it can be saved.
The thing is, that's the easiest one to solve. It's very simple. You've taken one step forward, now take 2 steps back. That's all they have to do. Take 2 steps back. Will they fucking do it? No, of course they fucking won't.
No, they won't.
And by the way, whilst we're here...
No, they're huffing Grandpa's internet gas.
That one's never going to fucking die, is it?
That ain't going to fly, is it?
That's fucking die. And
internet
heard,
gas.
like, loads of people have checked, sort of like, well, hold on, when is New Warriors coming out? And it seems to have mysteriously disappeared.
I think it's just going to digital, to be honest.
That is probably what will happen, and people will still read it and go, "What the fuck is this?"
It's just they're missing so many. It's far be it from me to tell these writers what they shouldn't be doing. They're far better writers than I am, but they're not hooking people the way it used to happen. So they must be doing something wrong. And it's not necessarily their fault. It might be the way that the publishers like to sell books these days. Like they make them for trade paperbacks now, which never used to be the case. This wasn't made to be a trade paperback.
No,
it was a bunch of pulpy floppies that you could put into a book and have fun with. But if you make it so that they're made for trade paperbacks, but not as a graphic novel, then your writing it doesn't work for floppies. Not in the same way, anyway.
What people seem to forget is that a single issue comic book is an illustrated short story. That's what it should be. And when a trade comes together, it's a collection of those short stories. Now, before I go any further with that statement, I will say, hypocrite right here. Because Lady Satan isn't exactly a short story. And a couple of the arcs in it, they'll need more than one issue, or that one issue will have to be like 60 odd fucking pages. But the point still stands. Like, majority of comics, like, I can't remember the last time I picked up a comic book, a single issue comic book, and even though it was part of a larger narrative, it was still a single story, a self-contained unit. That issue was the book. But
And when I was a kid, that was the way it all was.
yeah,
Every comic book, you picked up a Spider-Man, and if you missed it for 2 weeks, you'd be really fucking annoyed. But you could still carry on reading it.
yeah, exactly. And
You
you'd be
know,
really
it's
annoyed
just-
because you'd be like, I missed 2 great fucking stories.
yeah,
Not
no.
2 parts of one great fucking
Mm.
story, you know. And by the way, I just want to say good evening, Wakey J87. I'm sure I saw someone else, but I may have missed them. And Captain Fuckhead has asked me, what did I back? Well, first of all, there was Phantom Volume 1,
Got
which
that.
just that looks so fucking good.
I love that. I love that book. I was shilling that the other day on Twitter because I just think it's so cool. So cool.
Excellent. I would do that, but I don't have Twitter. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I know. But what are you gonna do?
Each their
I went on to Parler, and I can't upload fucking images. It won't let me upload an image.
I have no idea what this Parler is that you speak of.
Parler is like some kind of alternative to Twitter, apparently.
Oh right.
And of course, as soon as somebody called it an alternative to Twitter, of course, the mainstream press called it a right-wing alternative. It's like,
yeah. Of course they did. It's for the Nazis. Bullshit.
Jesus. Anyway, you were saying.
The other ones that I backed was Peregrine.
Oh, I've not done that one yet.
It does have a subtitle. Oh, mate, it looks gorgeous. The artwork is really fucking great.
I'll give that a look.
And Mary Boys.
I've only got limited number of funds. That's the trouble.
Yeah. So have I. That's why my credit card hates me.
I bought Mary Boys. I've actually got it. It's fucking
sweet.
amazing.
I've only got the digital copies at the moment. I've got to wait for the physical ones to turn up.
It comes as 2 books. I absolutely adore it. It's just... Yeah. It makes me think. Oh God! It makes me think of. It reminds me of Mad magazine.
Oh right, I was going to say something different,
but in a really good way.
Yeah.
And a lot of those underground-ish comics, a bit 2000 AD-ish. You know, like really core comic book. You know, it's absolutely beautiful.
The artwork looks fantastic. I haven't read the books yet. I don't want to read the digital ones yet because I want to read them physically, and I wouldn't mind talking about them when it comes to one of these episodes of this show. But when I saw like some of the artwork on the Indiegogo campaign, I was like, I don't know why, but it reminds me of the Goon from Dark Horse.
Oh yeah, a little bit like I can understand that.
And I really
facial,
and I just really find that so appealing. I've never read any of the Goon. I should really change that at some point.
Yeah, that's supposed to be really good. I really like the artwork on that as well because it's a little bit different. It's quite the characterization is accentuated. It's really done
very
well.
Stylistic.
Yeah, it's got a bit of a Will Eisner kind of.
I get what you mean.
It doesn't look like Will Eisner at all, but it's got that kind of that push of the facial aspects. It's really good. Really,
one foot is like firmly placed in like realistic artwork, and the other foot's firmly placed in cartooning.
Yeah,
and they've managed to get it to gel really well. Oh man! So I'm looking forward to those books. But this week, now
what have you got this week?
Now, I said last week that if I wanted to do this book, I would have to read one of the opposing sides. That's why last week I read You Bought Me the Fucking Ocean. So, like, why do I hate myself? Like, seriously, that's all I can think.
It's not like the rest of us do.
The thing is, like, after reading that book, like, I swear it gave me a concussion. Just reading it. Because like it was like a proper traumatic experience. I still think about it. Like, I have PTSD flashbacks of reading that book, and I end up in the fucking corner, rocking backwards and forwards, and just thinking, "Oh my god, Bill Cosby is gonna eat me." Fuck's sake. You know, that's what it did to me. So I wanted to stick to the fact that I would do a Comicsgate book this evening.
Oh right,
Cyberfrog. Blood Honey. And one thing that reminded me of that was, once again, Captain Fuckhead. I saw a video that he did when he unboxed his copy of all that, which was fantastic. Now, before I get into this, I will let everyone know another book that I read last week was the first volume of Kill or Be Killed. And there's 4 volumes in the entire series. and I read the other 3 volumes and then read this. And all I can say is Kill or Be Killed, fucking awesome. You know, there's a couple of bits in it that I was like, that really didn't need to be in there. What the fuck are you trying to do? That's a bit of an ego stroke from the writer there. But beyond that, fan-fucking-tastic. I highly recommend it. Cyberfrog, I will be 100% honest. I have to be as fair with this as I was with You Bought Me the Ocean. This is fucking brilliant. This is fan-fucking-tastic. Like, I love it. Like, if I had to find a quibble with it, I mean, oh, look at some of that artwork.
Shall I give you my quibble? Shall I give you my quibble? Because I've bought.
Go on.
I didn't like the lettering. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I found the lettering. The whole story went on a bit. It wasn't pulling me along as much as I'd like, but the artwork was utterly fantastic. And as shallow as I am, that's usually what I buy something for, and that's what I buy. Wow, look at that! And I really liked the Green Lantern stuff that he'd done, so I bought that book. So it was up there in the 8 out of 10 territory as a whole. I thought it was a really, really good buy. I'm glad I've got it. I'm glad I've got it on the shelf. Really, really enjoyed it.
I think the artwork in this book is absolutely fan-fucking-tastic. I don't know whether it's I can't fault it or I don't want to fault it. You know? One thing I will say is there are tons of double-page spreads. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. I feel that if another artist had put so many double-page spreads in their book, it wouldn't have the same effect. You've got to use them wisely. And if you use too many of them, you are taking up prime real estate in your book. And it can kind of slow the story down a bit. It can be a bit jarring. But the way it's being used in here is fantastic. Every time you find a double page spread, you are just sucked in that little bit more. Now, as far as the lettering goes, I didn't find the placement confusing or whatever. I could follow the flow of the lettering very well. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I didn't hate it either, if you get what I mean.
I think because you're looking at a very good product.
Yes.
The things that you can pick out, you pick them out. And the thing that really jumped at me was the lettering. And the lettering itself was fine, but there were a few places where it had outlines around the bubbles to denote a different voice.
Yeah,
and
a bit like him.
All got a little bit confusing because his artwork is so full, and the colours are so vibrant that I felt sometimes the lettering got in the way. But that, I mean, I'm being really harsh here. If the letterer is actually watching this ever, you're a great letterer. You're an absolutely brilliant letterer. I just felt that it was all the whole ensemble. The only thing that I could possibly look at to turn down a notch would have been the lettering, and the most part of that was really the differentiation between the characterization of the bubbles, or the balloons. But again, that's a very harsh criticism. That the book itself is a great book.
It is fantastic. I mean, I did find there was the occasional panel where it was like, okay, can we just take out a couple of these speech bubbles, because it's starting to get very text heavy. And this is coming from someone who does like to read novels and shit like that as well. But in a comic, you want to find that right balance between the artwork and the lettering. And when it comes to the artwork, budding artists, the one thing I think you can really pull from Ethan's artwork is textures. How important textures are. And if you can master, like Ethan has mastered textures, it's fucking unbelievable. One thing I absolutely loved, being a rock and metal fan, the fact that Heather Swain is wearing a Tool t-shirt. Fuck yes, Tool are fucking amazing. So that was fantastic story wise. Now I just saw that Captain Fuckhead in the chat has said first chapter is too long on Cyberfrog, but it's great fun. I get where you're coming from, because the first chapter is a way of kind of bringing everyone up to speed and not having to go, oh, well, let's get the rights to the old issues of Cyberfrog, reprint them and do some retconning. It's like, no, we've got this first chapter, which is about 20 pages long, where you're going to go through like the origin story all over again. And it's kind of necessary to do. I do feel that it could have been saved as like you could have had like little flashbacks to it, kind of like dotted throughout the story. That may have helped. But then again, I don't know where it's going after this issue, because bear in mind, one thing that did annoy some people out there is this isn't one self-contained story. This is the first part of a larger story. I'm okay with this. I'm absolutely okay with that.
We're talking about comics doing that.
Yeah.
Comics do. Like don't expect there to be a long story.
Like I said, hypocrite here. But no, I absolutely loved it. I felt it was fun. The pacing was fantastic. Even did something on one of the pages that I really hate it when comics do this, where halfway through the page you change from one scene to the next scene. I hate it when that happens. I prefer the scene change to be with a page turn,
right?
Or just be on a separate page. But he does it in here, and it works so well. His the voices for the individual characters. Now, when I say voices, I don't mean as in like voice acting. I mean when it comes to writing dialogue, every character has to have their own unique voice. People need to be able to read one character's dialogue and then the next, and they don't sound like the same character. Otherwise, that can be confusing. Ethan's got that nailed. He has got that nailed. There was never a point where I thought, hold on, I know that speech bubble goes to this character, but that sounds more like this character. What the fuck's going on? So that's really fucking cool.
I've actually done that in my writing now. Something that I wasn't doing at first, and I am now, is when I go through the voice of, when I go through the script of the particular character.
Yeah.
I have different voices in my head. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? So for instance, D, his voice is actually I'm writing when I write the dialogue, it also changes. His voice is Ray Winston.
Right, gotcha. Yes. Oh, I can so fucking see that.
Death sounds like Ray Winston. Okay, so even to the point where I'm actually starting to give him a little bit of a Cockney twang.
Nice.
To some of the things that he says, so I'm shortening some of the words when I'm writing them out. So I totally get where you're coming from there. It took me a while to get to that, but I now understand it. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I did write a book on writing dialogue for comic books and graphic novels, and in the description of every single one of these episodes is a link to the YouTube video where you can listen to the audio book or where you can download it and stuff. And that's something that I mentioned in there, is having those characters speak in their own voices. A lot of the times when I'm writing dialogue and stuff, and I when I stop, I read it back and I close the fucking curtain so no one can see me, and I start acting it, and I actually I read it out loud, and I try to do it as close to their each individual voices as possible. Because when you do that, you start realizing, hold on, this character wouldn't say this. Like, one thing I noticed with Lady Satan whilst I've been writing her is she is one of the only characters I have in the book that doesn't swear ever. Because it just doesn't suit her voice and the fact that she has a French accent. There are certain times where I'm like, oh, I kind of want to misspell this. So when you read it, you're reading it in that French accent. But that could be a hindrance more than an advantage, really. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is this book is really fucking good. Is it perfect? No. Of course not. I mean, one thing that kind of bugged me was that you have part 1, which is about 20 pages. You have part 2, which is about 26 pages, whatever. And then you got part 3, which is about 3 pages. And it's like, really, you would have had a good enough. I know why it's there, for a cliffhanger, so that you want to read the next book. But there was Well, okay, I'm exaggerating here. It isn't 3 pages. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages. I would say on about the 6th or 7th page, you could have easily had of that chapter. You like this. This could have been a great fucking cliffhanger. But instead, it goes on for that little bit, and I don't know. Just to me, I would have put that at what happens after that scene. I would have put at the beginning of the next book. But like I said, I'm not the one who's writing it, and I don't know what's in store with the next book. Ethan knows. No one else knows until they get Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet, which I have backed. I have no because of that book. The first day of the Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet Indiegogo campaign, I went straight in there and backed it. And Russ, you are looking strangely frozen on the screen. Have we lost you? Is there a problem? Oh, hello. It looks like we've lost Russ. Hopefully we'll get him back like this. Hello, good sir. You're back. Welcome.
Bloody hell. What happened there?
I don't know. I was about to ask you the same fucking thing.
Fucking internet.
I know, technology. Ain't it fucking great, eh?
Ain't it great? So, where were you?
Where was I? I was sat here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks very much. I'll be here all week. Try the veal.
They don't call me Comedy Jackson for nothing. I was basically saying this book is fantastic because this book was so good. The first day that the Indiegogo campaign went live for Cyberfrog Wrecked Planet, I was straight in there and was like, shut up and take my counterfeit money. I mean, money kind of thing. And I cannot wait to get that second book because this was really fun. And this is the thing. When I first heard about Cyberfrog, it really didn't appeal to me. But I was like, I've got to try it out before I know whether I like it or not.
Got to try stuff.
I am so fucking glad that I did. Now, I don't know whether you can still get this or not, but if you haven't got it and you can still get Cyberfrog Blood Honey, I recommend that you do, especially to all the people that are out there who are like, oh, fuck Ethan, this, that, and the other, which
stop it.
There are quite a few.
And separate the art and the artist, okay? If you're after comics, if you want to be entertained, okay, and this goes for both sides, like, I you know, there are some serious arseholes out there in the mainstream, okay? And I tend to ignore the fact they're arseholes, and if I like a comic, I'll buy it. You know, and I understand that there are some people that say or do certain things you think, I just can't support that. And I respect people's opinion that if that's what they want to do, fine, you go do that, and I'll have my own opinion, okay? But for the very most part, I tend to look at books as separate the art and artist. If I like what I see, if I think it looks good, I'm going to buy it. And people need to fucking grow up.
Yes.
And just go out and talking about comics, people need to fucking grow up. but seriously, people need to grow up and just, you know, grow a spine and just enjoy comic books. Comic books requires us all to go out there and buy them at the moment. They need our help, okay? And they need the right kind of help. Now, that means selective buying. But there is still some good stuff in the mainstream. Don't ignore it, okay?
Yes.
But there's absolutely no doubt about it that out there in the indie world at the moment, and even if you want to say Comicsgate, oh my God, I said the word. Yes, there's some absolutely fabulous books out there. Forget all the bullshit. Just go out and buy the books. And I have been promoting Comicsgate books and other books. Okay, if I like a book, I'm going to retweet it or I'm going to say something about it and say, I really like that book. Okay. Exactly. And if people want to concern troll me, they can fuck off. I'm not interested. Right? I'm only interested in the books. Yeah. I'm only interested in what the creator can give me and if they can entertain me, and then I will part with my money. Okay. Yeah. And that's what it should be about. It's people, the world's gone fucking crazy. So
can you just do me a favor and say Comicsgate again?
Comicsgate. There you go.
fucking help
Oh,
myself.
that's absolutely brilliant, mate.
It's been a while since I used that.
It's just a bit, maybe it's because I know you're a little bit younger than me. I know that, but
Yep.
I've been around a bit. Do you know what I mean? And this is also fucking ridiculous.
Yes,
The whole thing is just fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous that comics got themselves in the state that they're in, that anybody would begin a movement like Comicsgate. To suggest that they're a hate movement is utterly ridiculous. From all the people that I've been involved with, I don't know a lot about it, but from all the people that I've ever spoken to that have claimed to be Comicsgate, they've always been very pleasant to me.
Yes, okay? Exactly.
So what is the deal? Okay. Saying that, everybody I've ever interacted with in comics, okay, 98% in comics have been really nice to me. Okay, but it's a really high percentage. So it's like you these people. I just don't get. I don't get all the fighting. I just don't get all the fucking fighting. I just want to make comics. I want to enjoy comics. I want other people to enjoy comics. I want it to be an art medium that is respected in the way that it's respected in Japan. That's what I want. That's all I want.
Absolutely. You know? Now, Captain Fuckhead has pointed out that EVS has an eBay store where you can still get Cyberfrog Blood Honey. So if you guys are interested, please do that. I would also like to quickly say hello to Brianna. Is it Brianna or Brianna? I'm not sure. Brianna K. Wilder. Welcome to the show. Hope you're enjoying it. But as you were saying, Russ, I agree with you, especially the bit where you say grow the fuck up, because like I hate to say this, because I really dig the channel Cartoonist Kayfabe.
I do.
To the point where I joined the Facebook group Cartoonist Kayfabe Ringside Seats.
Right.
And I was really fucking disappointed to see that there were some people in that group at one point who were all like, "Oh, Ethan Van Sciver's a shithead and a Nazi and stuff." And I'm like, where's your fucking citation needed? Because at the moment, talking like that, you are no different to the children in the school fucking playground going, "Here, see him, his mum's an alcoholic," and this, that, and the other. "Oh, see that one? He pissed himself in science class the other day." It's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
Just grow
the fuck up. Unless you've actually sat down and had a conversation with the person, shut the fuck up. Okay? It's as simple as that.
It's uncanny how similar we think.
I know, right?
It's just like you don't know people's stories. You don't know their background. You don't know where they've come from. Don't call them names and be shitty to them. Whatever side of the fence you're on, whatever side of the aisle you come from, don't be hideous to people, okay? Because you don't know. You fucking don't know.
You don't know what shit they have fucking been through. Wherever anyone is in life, regardless of whether they have a positive attitude or a fucking hateful attitude or whatever, there's a reason why they got there. It's called experiences. Experiences you haven't fucking had. You want to be a good fucking storyteller? Sit down with the people that you do not know, especially ones that are the complete fucking opposite to you, and listen. Don't tell them, don't dictate to them, fucking listen. And then afterwards, sit down with a piece of paper and think to yourself, what's the most like evil kind of person I can imagine? Is it someone that mugs people? Is it a rapist? Is it a corporate fucking CEO guy or whatever? Try and think of it and then make them the hero in one of your stories, and you'll become a fucking great storyteller. Stan Lee did that, and that's how we got Tony Stark. But if you're not willing to sit down and fucking listen to these people and just go, someone on the internet said he was a Nazi, therefore it must be true, then fuck off. Go play with traffic or something. Next time you have an idea, let it the fuck go.
This is another round of applause for that man. I see it all the time. I saw it today on the internet. I'd see it all the time. People screaming, and you're just like, God, will you please just stop it? And then I realized that most of them are fucking asleep, and that's why. It's wake up, red pill. And I'm not talking about left and right. That's bollocks. right? The real red pill.
I know what you're talking about. Man.
They're all the fucking same. Okay.
Morpheus is on the phone, mate.
Jesus.
When you hear them screaming on the internet, does it sound like meh, meh, meh? By any chance?
Yeah, man. So that might have been a little goat in there. Meh.
And every now and then, when it gets a bit quiet, you just do it. Hello, my lover.
That's a rather nice set of boots you've got on.
Oh, you look rather lovely, don't you?
You look particularly nice tonight.
I like that blouse you're wearing.
What a lovely blouse.
How the fuck have we got?
Like I say, I know that you're a bit younger than me. Did you ever watch a Kick Up the 80s?
No.
But
this sounds like my kind of thing.
There was a guy on there that used to do, I think he was Welsh, actually. I'm not sure. He used to do this broad Welsh accent. And it was a really bizarre show. And the catch was that he always used to like to eat sheep's nerves. So he'd come home at night and they'd go, hello, where are you? So, hello, I've got your sheep's nerves, or you just like you like it. It's a fucking crazy, crazy show. He originally started off on a show called New Faces. Do you remember New Faces?
No,
you're probably too young for that.
Quite possibly.
I think it was New Faces. There used to be a show on called Search for a Star. This is before X Factor.
That rings a bell.
Yeah, and he was on there, and he came on, and he won 2 weeks in a row with this same thing. He came on and he sat down and he had a house brick on him. Right. So he come in and said, hello. He said, I'm a ventriloquist. He says, I'm not from the normal school of ventriloquism because my mouth moves. So he had his little mate, his brick, and he had it on his knee. And he said, hello. And he goes, hello. What are you then? I'm an house brick. What do you do for a living? He goes, I'm an house brick. And that was it. That was the end of his skit. That was the end of the skit. The next week he came on, he did exactly the same thing. The difference was he had a biro in his hands. And he went, hello. Says, what are you then? He says, I'm a biro. He says, what do you do for a living then? He says, I'm a bick.
Oh my god! That reminds me of this guy. Of this guy who's like a stand-up, and he kind of does the ventriloquist thing, but with a sock puppet. Well, I say a sock puppet; it's just a sock. I can't remember the guy's name, but you'll have to try and find him. But he does this thing where he's sort of like, "Oh, hello, sock. How are you doing? Oh, I haven't seen you for a long time. Like, why is that? I've been in prison and stuff." And right, and then he just stands there and goes, "You know how like all the other ventriloquists, they drink a glass of water whilst the puppet sings." Well, we're going to do it the other way round. He's going to eat a Snickers bar whilst I sing. And it's
singing.
Yeah, and it's so funny just watching him feed a soccer Snickers bar. It's one of the funniest things in the world that I've fucking seen. If anyone in the chat knows who I'm talking about, please drop his name so Russ can find him, because it is fucking brilliant.
Fucking hell.
You'll be crying with laughter by the end of it. First time I saw it, I was just tears fucking everywhere.
Oh dear, oh dear. Right, okay.
Right, pull yourself together. We're meant to be professionals. Meant to be. I just want to emphasize that. Meant to be. So anyway, I think it's a good time to wrap up the show. But before we do, let's take a look at some comments, shall we? Where shall we start? Oh, hello. Salazar Nation says, why is there green binary codes running up and down the screen? Hey, Russ?
Oh, is that me?
Yeah. You got when you were talking about your red pill.
Yeah.
Oh, easy now. Easy.
We are... There is research to suggest
Hmm.
that our minds are not in our brain, and that there is some kind of
Ooh.
connection to other, and you
Right.
can't
What do
say
you mean,
what
like-
other is. Our
Okay.
brains, our minds are connected. Our brains are like antennas.
Yeah, so kind of like a collective consciousness.
Not collective, more direct, more unique than that. There is a collective behind the whole thing, but yeah, sort of, yeah. Yeah, there's some interesting research out there, and yeah, it's very matrixy, I have to say.
Excuse me. And Salazar Nation says, "Do you watch Would I Lie to You? Lee Mack is a genius." I'll be honest, haven't seen that. I have seen plenty of Lee Mack stand up, and what was the other show that he did? Not Going Out.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. Lee Mack is a fucking genius.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how you can have different opinions? Because I'd smack him in the fucking face if I met him.
Oh, really? Like, I wouldn't put him up there like in the top 5, but I wouldn't go as far as going, I want to smack him in the face.
I couldn't be in a pub with that man.
You know, right? I think everyone's going to see this one coming. For me, the top 3 are, this is very predictable, Bill Hicks, George Carlin, Lenny Bruce.
Yeah.
All 3. I would add Dylan Moran to that as well, because I fucking love what Dylan Moran does, but that's just me. That's just me.
It's just you.
And Wakey J7 said, Bob Mortimer steals the show every time he's on Would I Lie to You?
Bob is great. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but you know what? Shooting stars. George Dawes, what are the scores?
Cool.
Uvavu.
Uranu.
I missed that show. I missed the
90s, mate. I missed the 90s. Simple as that.
yeah, I do. I mean, I miss both the 80s and the 90s. They were great decades.
I miss 1995 specifically.
Okay, why? Why do you miss 1995 specifically?
I don't know. I was young for a start. That was quite nice.
And Brianna says Mr. Leach has to be careful with timing his sips from his drink.
As in too many?
And I also want to point out, Russ is going to be appearing on Captain Fuckhead's channel this week.
Yes, I will be.
It's on Thursday, right?
It's on Thursday, yes.
At 10 p.m. if I remember correctly. I will be fucking watching, because I like since the Captain has graced us with his presence in episodes of this show, I've been like, okay, let's check out what he's got going on, and I really dig.
I really enjoyed. It's so British.
Yes, absolutely.
With Commie Mark and all the other. It's almost like a radio show, and they've got the Captain Fuckhead has got his entourage around him. It's so cool. I also it was on tonight as well. I can't remember what it's called because I'm crap with it. But it's like a lunch hour.
That's the fans hour
with Rotten.
I don't know, because I haven't seen any of
Rotten Glory.
I'm going to be watching tonight.
Yeah, Rotten Glory. So it's not the fan hour. That's the lunchtime. Because I think it's probably because it's lunchtime in America. But they're quite funny as well, and they talk smack on there as well. It's quite funny, and that's why I love these things. It's like the old radio shows where you just to go on there, you listen to them talking shit, and it's great fun. It's great fun. And yeah, sometimes they might step over the line. Sometimes they might say something a little bit, there you go, Brianna, a little bit dangerous.
Oh, before she said that, she put drinking plus laughing equals unpractical, then potentially dangerous.
But yeah, it's repartee. That's it, with Rotten Glory. Well done. Thank you very much, Captain. It's great fun. It's just, and I enjoy it. And that's why it annoys me about the whole, the Comicsgate thing and the mainstream thing. And it's like, just be you. Just go out and be you and do you. And you can. Everybody else can do them. And just enjoy it and take people on their merit. You don't just say, I hate that person or I don't like that person because all these people over here dressed in chic with welly boots. that say it. You
Yeah.
go and find these people, go and talk to them. But yeah, just listening to I can't remember how I happened across it, but just I listened to a show. I sat and watched the show, and it was just so fucking funny. I thought, oh, I've got to watch this a bit more often, and then I jumped in on the chat. So.
Brianna's just said, I hope I catch the start of the show next time. You guys are awesome. Thank you
Brianna.
Very much. And by the way, I really like the artwork of your profile picture there. Is that your own? Please let us know, because that's fucking awesome.
That's lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. It's really fucking, I love the lighting on it. That's really fucking sweet.
Someone who can actually paint, unlike me.
I don't dare fucking try painting. I can only just hold a pencil, for fuck's sake.
I could, yeah. I do lines. That's it.
I just
don't want to fill it in.
I do this on the page, and I hope for the best. And luckily, it's worked out for me. I actually had fucking one time when I was a guest at a convention. I had this guy coming up to me. He was like, "Oh, I wish I could do what you do. Like, I'm starting to write a story, but I've got writer's block and stuff. But I really wish I could do what you do." And I was like, "You can do what I do. I'm a fucking idiot with a pencil. If I could fucking do it, anyone can." And that made him really smile. He's like, "I think I'll give it a try." Saw him the following year at the same convention, because I was asked to come back as a guest. He's like, "I've written 3 books because of you." And I was like, "See, told you."
Excellent. No, it's yeah, you just got to do it. And often people hold you in this kind of they kind of hold you in this regard that you can do it, but you just got to go out and do it. Yeah. Not everybody's suited to it. It's like I'm not very good at playing football, or, playing musical instruments or growing hair. But that's I know a man's got to have his limitations. Clint Eastwood told me that.
Have you tried the banjo yet, Russ?
I do. I've got to buy a banjo, but at the moment I don't have the time to play with a banjo, so I'm not going to waste the money. Okay, I wasted the money on an electric guitar. That didn't get me anywhere. But not everybody is right for everything. But there's no harm in giving it a go, and the only way you're going to know is by getting on and doing it. Yeah. So sometimes you just have to pull the trigger and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I could not agree more. Like you said, you're not going to be great at everything. Fucking hell. Have you seen me trying to run? There's a reason why you haven't seen me trying to run. All right? I am not a sports kind of guy. But that's okay. That's okay. And it's like, it's amazing how many people I get who are like, "Oh, if you wanted me to draw you a really good stick man, I'm your guy. But anything beyond that, oh no, I can't." And I'm like, you do realize that's kind of the foundations. Oh, Cyberliterbot, see you later. You take care. All right.
Thank you for turning up.
Have a good one. We should probably wrap this up anyway, because
we probably should. It's 9:15. It's getting on. It's just so much fun. I know have so much fun doing this, because we just chit chat, and then the chat is always full of great people with different opinions, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And I love seeing more and more people joining in with the chat, like tonight, which is absolutely fantastic. But alas, we are going to have to go, I'm afraid. So Russ, before we get the fuck out of here, do you want to let people know where they can find you?
You can find me at russleach.com, at comicbookblackbelt.com, at my book onlydeathcansavus.com, which is also on Indiegogo at the moment as a preview of the campaign. You can download a preview of the book there, 8-page preview. You can also sign up to my email list at any of those places. You can go search me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter, on the Twatter. You can find me on the Fleecebook. And you can also find me on Parler now, although they won't let me bloody upload images for some ridiculous reason. So just put my name in the internet. It'll be fine. You'll get me.
Fantastic. You can find me at Lucifer Storm. You'll also find me at the pub, but not on Saturday. Not on Saturday when they first open. I'm playing it safe. I'm going to let other fuckers be the canary in the coal mine. And then I'll go there. Although I was there earlier. don't fucking tell no one, all right? So anyway, guys, this has been absolutely awesome. We cannot wait to do it again next week at 8 p.m. BST, British Standard Time, or British Summer Time, whatever the fuck it stands for. Anyway, we've had a blast. We hope you guys have enjoyed it. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Most importantly, though, stay safe and stay awesome.
Be cool. Peace.